What's going on, Schmidt heads? Welcome back to another week of undercover picks against the spread. This is week 5. I'm your host, Joe Schmidt, and I'm ready to give us another good week, guys. Last week we did good against the spread, 10 for 16, but I'm tired of these 10s. I want to break that barrier. I want to break that 10 barrier, 10 for 16. I want to get 11, 12, 13 picks correct, which is going to be a bit more difficult this week because we finally have some buys. We got 4 teams on a buy. That's 2 less games we got to pick this week. So there's 14 games total. A lot less tinkering, a lot less thinking. Last week we also didn't do too well on the money picks. We went 2 for 4 on the money picks. That makes us, I believe, 8 for 15 on the year. 8 for 15 on the money picks. Let me double check that. Make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Eesh, I am lying to you guys. No, I'm not. We're 8 for 15. So, that's still above 50%. We're still making profit on just against the spreads. Now, stay tuned to this channel. I will be posting more videos. I don't know if it'll be this week. I'm going to try to post it this week, but I place more bets than just against the spread. So I want to get all those bets out there to you guys because so far I am up almost 30% of what I started with in my account for sports betting. So, we could all be up 30% right now, or almost 30%. I'm going to hopefully break that 30% barrier this week. But anyway, let's get to it. I got 3 money picks this week. I'm going to chill out. I haven't been crushing it the last few weeks. We're still above 50%. But, I'm going to chill out on the money picks, try to win a little bit more of those before I start betting 4 a week again. And I don't really feel confident about 4 games this week. I feel a lot of games have locks, but am I willing to throw my money on it? No. And I find out a lot of weeks like, damn, I should have put my money on that game. I felt really good about it, but didn't do it. You gotta live with that, You gotta live with that. So anyway, let's get to these games. I'm feeling pretty confident this week. I'll be happy with 10 correct picks, but we need to do more than that. We need to do better. We're doing pretty good so far this year. I got a total of 34. We are 34 for, how many games has it been? 68. Got 34 picks correct this year against the spread. Not exactly where I want to be at. I had one bad week that really tore it down. But we'll just keep having good weeks so we can forget about that. Anyway, enough talking. First game of the week, Thursday night, we got the San Francisco 49ers at Los Angeles Rams. Now, in my league, I'm lucky enough to get them at the opening line. We got the Los Angeles Rams at -5.5. I believe that has moved to 8.5 now because the Niners have all these injuries on offense. So I got to go with the Rams to win and to cover here. Just by default, really. That's way too good of a price. And honestly, if the Niners weren't as injured as they are, I'd still probably roll with the Rams. I like them better on both sides of the ball. They got a nice defense. They got a nice offense. Stafford's killing it, slinging it, still has some laser throws, putting it right on the money. We'll see if his arm can last that long all season because he is getting older. But, hey, man, I like this team. They can run the ball a lot. They don't need to rely on Stafford. The Niners, I guess the only thing I got to worry about is their defense just really stepping up. But they got some injuries on defense as well. Not too many, though. I don't see the Niners offense putting up points or being able to match the Rams. I think the Rams should win this convincingly. I don't even really see a backdoor scenario here. They just got to win by 6 points. And against a team who everybody's out. Their star tight end, their starting quarterback. Mac Jones isn't as much as a downgrade, but I've seen Mac Jones play with a bunch of what should be backup players on the field when he was with the Patriots. Like, where are all those receivers he played with on the Patriots today? One of them's with him, Kendrick Bourne. Jacoby Myers now on the did Myers play with Mac Jones? I believe he did, but that was his rookie. Like, Mac Jones, my point is, he doesn't make players better. He's not like a Baker Mayfield, a Matt Stafford. There's other Josh Allens. There's a couple other quarterbacks out there. No matter who they got, they're still going to sling the ball and could have a decent game. I think Mac Jones needs playmaker players around him to have good games. And I'm back on the fade in the Mac Jones train here. I'm feeling good about this. Los Angeles Rams to win in the cover. Don't believe I'm leaving anything out here. We all know the Niners are banged up, man. And could they still have a good defensive performance? I believe so. But I don't see their offense putting up points. The Rams are going to really have to shoot themselves in the foot, in my opinion, to not cover this spread. It's a division matchup, and I definitely think the Rams are the better of these two teams. I've been saying it all year. I don't think San Francisco's offense is that good. And now the more they're getting banged up, the more I'm, going to keep going with that statement, Kendrick Bourne, who else does he have to throw to, really? I don't see him getting it done with a bunch of backup players. He didn't do it in the past. He's not doing it now. And then the Rams, they're looking like one of the top 3 teams right now in the NFC. So I believe the Rams, it's early in the season, but I believe they should win this division. It is a tough division. I believe it's going to be a close, exciting division when it comes down to the end of the year. But I'm rambling on now. Rams to win in the cover. They got all their players. They look good. San Francisco's offense and their defense is good too. The Rams defense, they shouldn't have trouble with San Francisco. And I believe San Francisco is playing, in my opinion, the best quarterback they face in all year. So we're gonna see if their defense is really, they do got a good defense, but we'll see what they can do facing some of their better competition that they faced all year. I'm going with the Rams. I'm feeling really confident on this one. I want to put money on -5.5, but now with the point spread, that just won't be worth it. So Rams -5.5. Lock it. Next game, we got another game. This one ain't in Dublin, it's in London. So Vikings still had to travel. We got the Minnesota Vikings at the Cleveland Browns. Vikings still technically traveled. Cleveland Browns traveled a little bit more, but Vikings still travel. Now the Vikings, they're not looking too hot. I believe they got a lot of talent on the team. Their defense is pretty good, but I'm not a believer in Carson Wentz at all. I faded Carson Wentz last week, and I'm probably going to fade him again this week. I don't have this pick as me switching it, so I doubt I'm going to switch it. We can pretty much say this is a lock. I got Minnesota to win and Cleveland to cover. Flacco's not playing this game. That's an upgrade. Flacco's old. He was washed. He's a good backup. You can rely on him to keep a team in the game, but I'm not relying on Flacco to win me games, if that makes any sense. Not in this day and age. Gabriel will be starting. Apparently he looked pretty good in preseason. I'm not too concerned about preseason. The only time I really do pay attention to preseason stats or numbers are in situations like this with a rookie quarterback. Nothing more. But I think we all knew he was better than Flacco week 1. Nobody knew why they were starting. Like, we all saw this coming. I said it in every single one of my videos I made this year. Flacco will not be starting. He will be benched at some point. I'm just going to wait for it to happen. And then it might be the same scenario with Shadur Sanders. I just think it'll be more maybe after the bye week. I'm pretty sure they got a late bye week. But we'll see. we saw this coming with the Browns. They're going to have this quarterback situation all year. Gabriel's going to look good a couple games. So Shaduro will stay on the bench. And I believe this is one of the games. I can't be confident in this. I've never seen Gabriel play. That's why I'm not putting money on this. But I can't ride with the Vikings. Not after what Wentz did. Even the game where they blew out, Wentz was pretty much on the bench as if he was the backup quarterback. The defense was making all the plays. He didn't have to do much. He didn't have to throw for a lot of yards. And he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week, even though he was in the game. I think towards the end he ended up getting yards, but that was during garbage time. They kept it close at the end, but it's still garbage time to me. He had to sling it. He didn't have a choice. But yeah, I'm feeling confident. The Cleveland's defense is they've definitely looking like a top 3 defense this year. They gave up some points. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold that, but that's mainly due to the offense setting them up in bad situations, I believe. So I got the Cleveland Browns. I think Judkins is gonna pop out even more this week against this Minnesota defense that allowed the Steelers to pretty much run all over them, and the Steelers couldn't run all over anybody this year. So that could have been a fluke. I'm pretty sure Vikings were pretty good at stopping the run up until last week, but I think we're gonna see a Browns offense that looks different. They're gonna be quicker. They can do more now that Flacco won't be in there. I think Gabriel is more elusive, obviously. Anyone should be more elusive than a 40-something-year-old quarterback. It's an obvious upgrade. Not super confident in this pick. I do think Minnesota wins, but Cleveland gets the cover, 3.5 points. I believe they fight. The defense, we know the defense is going to show out, and I don't think Wentz is going to be the one to start passing all over this Browns defense. And Wentz got pressured a lot last week. Wentz, we already know what we're getting from him. I don't see him, unless the defense completely helps him out, I don't see him blowing out any teams. And, winning by 4 isn't completely a blowout, but yeah. I'm going with the Browns to win and to cover. Not to win, just to cover. Minnesota to win. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. I have no idea what to do with this one, you guys. I have nothing written down for this game. Look at that big empty space right there. Nothing written down. I gotta wait. I gotta see what's happening to Lamar Jackson. He pulled a Paul Crew on us last week. Come on. That's how I see it. I don't know what else to think. But yeah, that's all I know. They got Cooper Rush, so I'm just gonna right now for the video's sake pick this game as if Rush is playing. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the opening line -3.5. That line's completely switched. I believe it's Houston +1.5. I've seen it +2.5 somewhere. So by default, if Cooper Rush is playing, I'm going to just go with the Houston Texans to cover. I still don't know who's going to win. I guess for shits and giggles, I'll say Baltimore wins no matter who's at quarterback. Cooper Rush is a winning quarterback. He's 9-5 as a starter. He does have a pretty good team around him, but that Baltimore defense, man, is just so shitty. If they do get away with a win, I don't see it being by a lot. Like I said last game, 4 points isn't a lot. But Baltimore is going to have to rely heavy on the run. I don't really think they have receivers. I'm not too impressed. Zay Flowers is good. Bateman, okay. But I think they just work with Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? I don't think if they were on any other team, they'd be tearing it up. Maybe Flowers. But they don't really have too many weapons, I guess I would say, in the pass game, Baltimore. And they are 1-3. So as good as we all thought they were gonna be, they're 1-3. They gotta run the ball with Henry though. The last 2 weeks they barely ran it with him. I know he fumbled the ball, but it's Derek fucking Henry. So I do think Henry gets the ball at least 15 times this game. It should be 20 plus. And I think they could manage to pull out a win, but just because Their defense is so bad, and Houston's got a killer defense. They're definitely top 3 defense right now. I would say Houston, Seattle, and Cleveland. I don't think it's unfair to say those are the top 3 defenses right now. But yeah. I can't really say much more about this game because I don't know what's happening, but I really like Houston's defense. I think they could shut down Baltimore's defense, offense, even with Lamar Jackson in there. I was gonna roll with the Ravens to cover this though, since they've had 2 bad losses in a row. But without Lamar Jackson, if he doesn't play, and Cooper Rush is in there, I like Cooper Rush. I think he can have what it takes to win, especially if Derrick Henry could help out a lot in the running game. But 3.5 points is a lot against a Houston defense with going against the backup quarterback, I think. And a Houston defense, if they could stop Derrick Henry, which so far this year hasn't been an issue. Just going to rock with Houston for now. Stay tuned to my shorts that I post before 1 o'clock every Sunday. If I have any swaps, they will be there. Those are my final official picks. I rarely switch, but if I do, they're up there. Next game, we got Miami Dolphins at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are minus 1.5. This game is a toss-up for me, but I'm still feel better picking the Carolina Panthers to win and to cover. And yeah, I'm not convinced on Miami's win last week. Jets gave it to them. They did everything they possibly could to make sure they didn't win that game. And the Dolphins lost Tyreek Hill in the process. So without Tyreek Hill, Waddle will be the top target. Then who's after that? Washington. Waller showed out last week. Will that happen every week? I've seen plenty of games where a tight end popped off and then you didn't hear his name the next couple weeks after that, you know? So we'll see if that'll be a consistent connection with Tua and Waller. But right now, my gut's telling me Carolina. Like, Miami beat a winless Jets team. And I think those are the only teams we're going to see Miami beat this year are teams with poor records. And, you know, just like the year before and the year before that. Now without Tyreek Hill. And they could definitely run on Carolina here. That could save them. Carolina, they're a bad team. They don't got the greatest defense. I can't put money on this game either way, but I feel better about Carolina covering this spread. Bryce Young, I said it before, I don't believe he'll remain a starter in this league, but against I guess a Swiss cheese Miami defense, Young could make some plays here. He's made some plays already this year. I don't think he's starter material, but I believe he can make plays against this defense. I believe they could run against this defense. I think Hubbard could have a game. He's questionable, but I believe he will play. Dolphins, yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to pass the ball too well. They haven't really they started to look good with Tyreek last week, but we didn't see that at all before then, and now Tyreek's hurt, so it doesn't really matter. Tua went a whole week without turning the ball over. We'll see if he can do that 2 weeks. I think the more weeks he doesn't turn the ball over, our chances of him throwing a pick is increased by a shit ton. I think I have much else for this game. The Dolphins scored a lot of their points last week off the turnovers. You know, even though they put up a lot of points, I believe they were held to under 300 yards offensively, and that's with like a 98-yard drive, 96-yard drive thrown in there. So besides that long drive, their offense didn't really move the ball too well. And this is against the Jets defense that lets anybody so far this year put up points on them. So am I impressed by the Dolphins winning? Do I think like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for? They're going to start doing good offensively again? No, I'm not sold at all. That was against the Jets, who I think will improve defensively this year, the Jets. I don't think they're going to keep allowing teams just to score all over them. They do have talent on the defensive end. They just need to get it together. Let me not leave the frame. I wrote a lot down this week, and I leave a lot out every week, so I'm just double checking, y'all. There's a bunch I leave out on purpose because I'm like, it's not important to mention. Yeah, I guess Panthers being favorites after getting blown out is a little suspect, especially against the Miami team. But Miami hasn't been good at all, so, I might have a little bias in me, so maybe it's not as suspect as I think. I think Panthers are going to be playing. Let's see how they play at home. I believe they play better. Dolphins were outgained 100 yards last week. That just proves that I don't think they really moved the ball that well offensively. The Jets ran all over them, and Dolphins, they punched one out at the 1 yard line. So that's a 14-point swing right there, technically in my eyes. But anyway, let's get to the next game of the week. Excuse me. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are minus 6.5. I went back and forth with this one, but I'm going to settle on the Las Vegas Raiders to cover and the Colts to win. Colts had a tough loss last week. Nothing heart-crushing. You know what? They did have that slip-up. They should have scored a touchdown. The guy, it happens every year. I don't know why. There's at least one player that drops the ball when they have a clear touchdown, nobody within 10 yards of them. They just drop the ball out of the back of the end zone, and they don't get the touchdown because they're dumb. Happens every year. That's all I'm saying. It happens every year. These are professionals, and they do it every year. So that happened, but I don't believe that's something like, oh, the Colts are going to bounce back because that happened. I think that could be one of the plays that's like a momentum killer. Not just for that game, but it could trickle on as the season carries out, definitely into the next week, I think. Because that could have been the difference from the Colts winning last week, was that one play. That was a huge momentum swing. I'm thinking of the Bears last year when they gave up that Hail Mary. After that, their defense just... It's a different situation. I still think the Colts are legit. I still think they're going to put up points. Their offense is going to look good all year. I don't think it's a fluke how their season has started. They got good players. They got good receivers. Daniel Jones, I never thought he was horrible. I always thought the Giants sucked. But now they're going against the Raiders team who hasn't looked that good. Geno Smith has been a turnover machine the last 2 weeks. And in my gut, I don't see that happening 3 weeks in a row. We've seen Geno Smith in this league long enough. I don't think he's going to have 3 games in a row where he turns the ball over like crazy. And even with those 3 turnovers, the Raiders were still in position to beat a Bears team. I guess it's fair to say the Bears are kind of hot right now offensively. And Crosby almost won that game on his own. I still think Raiders defense is going to fight hard. They haven't, in my opinion, been playing up to expectations. This is a good spot for them to prove a point and slow down a Colts offense that's been marching. But, the Colts could cover this, But I don't see Geno having 3 terrible games in a row. I think the offense gets rolling. We saw Genti finally burst out last week with 3 TDs. I think over 100 Yards, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but he looked how we expected him to look. We know he's going to be running over players this year, and I think this offense, the Raiders' offense, gets rolling next week. Colts' defense have given up a lot of points all year. They haven't really looked, especially in the passing game. So, this may be. I don't think the Colts really. Did they play good teams this year? I believe they played pretty decent teams. Like I said, I think their start's legit. Yeah, I don't think. I think all Raiders, just to put it simply, really have to do is just not turn the ball over, and they should be able to cover the spread. I think the defense could be able to hold the Colts. We're going to start seeing punts again. Like I said, the Colts offense is legit, but, and I said in my other videos, the days of them never punting the ball, that's not going to last. It's not. So, yeah, that's about all I got. I think Vegas is going to fight hard. Colts still got to shake off that blunder from last week, but I think they'll come out victorious, but this game should be close. Next game of the week, we got the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. Giants off a huge upset last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. I called it. I don't think I called the Giants to win, but I did pick them to cover last week, and for all the weirdest reasons, right? Like, Chargers have no business losing that game, but for some reason, because they traveled a lot in the beginning of the year, they just come out looking like dog shit against the Giants. Travel. That's every hot team's greatest weekend. Greatest weakness. What game am I on? I lost my track because I couldn't fucking say weakness. New York Giants at New Orleans Saints. Saints are -1.5. Now, I'm going to pick the Saints to win and the Saints to cover. It's extremely fishy that they're even a half-point favorite to anybody in the league. I don't care if they're playing another 0-4 team like the Jets. I don't care if they're playing a shitty team like the Giants that got lucky last week. They shouldn't be favored against anyone. That's extremely suspicious to me. I'm not going to take the bait, and I'm going to pick the Saints to win in the cover against the Giants. Now, besides me not taking the bait, I got some other things that work a little bit on my side. Neighbors out for the year. Believes he tore his ACL. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. At least out for this week. And that was Dart's top target. Now, Dart looked good week 1, but he didn't really have to do too much, you know? Now there's game film on him. Teams know he's going to try to run the ball. There's going to be QB run designs where it's not just him running because he has to make something up. Like, they actually draw out a play where he's going to run. Teams should be ready for that now. I didn't know what he looked like. I don't pay attention to college. I'm ready for it because he has no one to throw to. You got, Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton, who after that, Scatabo looks okay. He looks like he can create some plays. He might be an exciting player that lasts like 3 years in the league, and then he's just like the second string running back that you see on third downs all the time. I could be completely wrong, but that's the vibe I get when I watch him play. When I ramble. Rattler, 0-10 as a starter, hasn't won a game yet, and he's favored. So it's not just that the Saints haven't won a game yet and they're favored. It's they have the same starting quarterback. They didn't change nothing. Same starting quarterback that has not won a game professionally in his life as a starter. 0-10. and he's looked decent. He's had some good balls this year where he's really zipped it in there and got it to his guy. That one touchdown pass to what's his face last week looked really good. But yeah, Giants, I got to see more from Dart. You know, he didn't have a lot of passing yards last week, and almost half his yards, I believe, or a good chunk of his yards were to Neighbors. So without him, like, are we going to be able to see him throw the ball? I don't think he had more than 170 passing yards. I could be wrong, but somewhere around 170 yards. And they still beat the Chargers. That just goes to show how bad the Chargers played. That was mainly a defensive win by the Giants. I'm not giving too much credit to the offense. They came out and scored before the Chargers, and I believe that's all they needed to do to win that game. If the Chargers come out scoring first, I don't see Giants crawling back into that game and winning it like they did. So I think that was the key to them winning last week. And now against the Saints team that put up a pretty good fight against the Bills. I had them to cover. I had a feeling they would put up a fight. Rattler needs a win. No team is going to want this guy if he has never won a game. That's pretty much the same thing I said last week, and that's what I'm going to rock with this week. It doesn't look like the fans or the team is giving up on Rattler or the coaches. I don't see any flack. No one's giving Rattler any flack, so him being 0-10 isn't going to scare me away from picking the Saints this week. Pretty much a pick on 1.5. Do I see that the Giants could beat them by 1? Like, the Giants, I don't think they have a great offense that's going to put up a lot of points. And the Saints defense was able to slow down the Bills last week. Bills have a good offense. I think it's overhyped, but definitely a lot better than the Giants, what the Giants are rocking with right now. I just got a gut feeling the Saints cover this game. Mainly because that spread is extremely fishy, and I faded fishy spreads a lot in the past, and it works out way more than it doesn't. The only thing that worries me is this, I feel like, is too obvious. It's obviously like, what the fuck? How, you know what I mean? Like, they want me, I don't know. It could be like a reverse psychology thing. Anyway, done talking about the game of the week. Took too long on that. This video is going too long for a 14-game week. Dallas at the New York Jets. Jets are plus 2.5. I got the Jets to cover, Dallas to win. And I hate doing that when the spread is under 3 points, picking one team to win, picking the other to cover. But I really do think the Jets can still move the ball on offense. They moved it all last week. They had over 100 yards more than Miami Dolphins, and they still lost that. They did everything they could. They shot themselves in the foot, and I believe one of the Jets players said they did more than shoot themselves in the foot. They shot themselves in the head. I agree. I don't see that happening again. Fields is going to play hard. My big concern with the Jets is they have no weapons. They got Garrett Wilson, and then it looks like Fields has good chemistry with their tight end. But then after that, you know, I think the Jets defense, like I said earlier, is underperforming. They got talent on the defense. We should see them step it up as the year goes on. I believe it starts this week against the Dallas offense that looks like they can score without CeeDee Lamb, which I kind of saw that happen. And they still got a lot of good players with Ferguson, Pickens. They got Javonte Williams. He can run the ball. That O-line is protecting Dak. I think this should be a game Dallas wins, by the way both these teams have looked this year. But I do believe Jets can run the ball. Keep this game close. It's at home. I think their defense is going to play harder, look better. We're not going to, a lot of people just think Dallas is going to put up points against the Jets, and the Jets aren't going to fight. And whenever I see everybody agreeing on the same thing, I kind of want to go the other way, and that works a lot for me in the past. Because the public always gets fucked, Vegas never gets fucked. It's always the public. But yeah, I'm just pretty much rocking with the Jets because of that. Um, the Jets, they've already lost 2 games this year by 2 points. They're gonna be one of those teams, I believe, this year. There's always that one team where it's like, wow, look at this, 6 games that they could have won, but they lost. So they could have, instead of being a 3-10 team, they could be 9-7 right now. I see it every year. I believe that's gonna be the Jets this year. They're gonna look good this game, but ultimately be the Jets and find a way to lose. Maybe screw themselves. I don't know. Get a field goal blocked. Who knows? But yep. Um, and then we got a storyline in this game is that their head coach could be the first Jets head coach to start 0-5. That might be ever, or that might be from a very long time, but so he's gonna definitely, the coach is gonna, I think, come up with some sort of scheme to keep it close, keep it competitive, and hopefully we don't see a tie game where the Cowboys win by a game-winning field goal. Hopefully maybe we get a Jets backdoor. I believe they're a team, they almost backdoor last week if they didn't fucking shoot themselves in the foot so many times. And they had missed field goals too as well. The Jets did last week. So just an overall game, nothing was clicking for them, and they still came pretty close at the end. I'm going with the Jets to cover, Dallas to win. Don't got much more to say about that besides, yeah. Don't feel super confident on that pick, honestly. But I just have in my gut feeling that the Jets gonna be able to run and move the ball on offense. Defense is gonna step it up. Dallas will come out with the win though. Don't worry. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are -4.5. I believe that moved down to -3.5. I was back and forth with this game, and I have it as a game I might switch. So pay attention to my 1 o'clock short, or my short before 1 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah, I think that Denver's got a defense that can shut down the Eagles' offense. Eagles, they haven't really passed the ball at all this year. Um, but what's his name is still whining, even though they're undefeated right now. Why can't I remember his name? Number 11, the receiver. Oh, I've been looking at this stuff and names for too long. But last time that happened, it ended up working out for them. He ended up seeing a lot of targets and doing good. I think we might see the same thing again this year. Barkley, I'm not concerned that he hasn't been getting too many yards in these past few games. They haven't really been handing the ball off to him and putting too much on his shoulders. And they don't need to. Obviously, they're undefeated. But I think I just feel it in my gut that this might be a close game, but the Eagles win by more than 4 points. That they can pull off a win more than 5 or more. I'm not too convinced on Denver's offense. Things were clicking last week, but let's remember who they were playing, the Cincinnati Bengals. I expect to see a Denver offense that we saw 2 weeks prior to that. Their games have been close. But I just ultimately think the Eagles' defense is going to make more plays than the Broncos' defense makes. The Eagles aren't making a lot of mistakes. They're not turning the ball over. So even though Broncos are a top 3 defense right now, or top 5, whatever, they've given up a lot of yards. It looks like the age might be catching up to them a little bit. They're a pretty old defense. Still think they're good, but I think Eagles defense will make more plays. I could just see Nick's putting the defense in a bad spot once or twice. I was on Denver until just recently today. I swapped to Philadelphia. I don't want to believe like, oh, Denver's going to at least keep it close. And that was really my only reason for picking Denver, and that doesn't sit right with me. Me just thinking like they're probably not going to win, but they should at least make it a close game. I don't want to ride with that. I don't want that to be the reason why I pick a team. So I'm going with Philadelphia. They obviously got more talent. Their defense is holding up, looking pretty good, making plays. And I don't think Denver's got the offense to really exploit Philadelphia's defense. I believe they could score on Philadelphia, but at the end of the day, I just think Eagles run away with it. They show they could let teams in games. So I'm a little nervous about this one, but I don't see me switching back. This could be a game I switch, but I don't see me switching back. I think I'm going to stick with the Eagles -4.5. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are -8.5. This spread is a little fishy to me. I think it's easy to pick the Tennessee Titans. Even though they just got blown out last week, even though they're 0-4, they haven't won a game yet. They got a rookie quarterback. He hasn't shown much of anything yet. Hasn't really made any fantastic plays or put his team in a position to win. Came close against the Broncos. Right? Was that the Broncos? They came close against the Broncos. That's their only cover. I had them at Broncos at 7.5. So they're 0-4 in CBS opening spreads, but technically 1-3. If they were 0-4, I'd be feeling a lot better about this Tennessee Titans pick because every team covers. Once a team hasn't covered in 4 weeks, one of my rules, I'll tell you right here, it's just a thing I do and it works more than it doesn't. Once a team has hasn't covered 4 spreads in a row, they're due to cover. Hop on them. I'm not saying throw your money on them, but they're definitely a safe pick because they're going to cover. Every team covers now and then. I think the longest I've seen a team go since I've been paying attention without covering is 5 games. And that was once. If they haven't covered 3 games, there's a good chance they might cover, but it could go an extra week. But by 4 weeks, I'm confident. I'm not even going to think. I don't care how bad it looks. I'm going to say somehow they're going to cover. And it works. What game am I on? So that's how I feel here, but I'm still going to rock with the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Titans to cover, Arizona Cardinals to win. We could see special team plays or something here, but I don't know. I don't see the Cardinals putting up a lot of points with their offense. Ever since Connor got hurt, their offense just doesn't move the same. I don't think I'm not convinced in their passing game. I'm not convinced in Kyler Murray. How long has he been in the year? And how many years has he been in the league? And I know what I'm getting from him. You know what I mean? He's not going to have that. I don't think he's going to have a standout year. I don't see that coming. He's going to be inconsistent Kyler Murray, where he has more bad, mediocre games than he has good. And his best plays come from him scrambling, just from a broken play, not even a design play. Those are his highlights. His highlights is never a design play. And without a running game, I don't see Cardinals offense moving the ball too efficiently. I do think they can win the game. They still got a good defense against a rookie quarterback who hasn't proven himself yet, won a game. But he does seem like a competitor, at least. It doesn't seem like he's going to give up, throwing the towel. It does seem like he wants to get better, him and the team. So I like that. So I do think they show up with some fight this week. And I do think Arizona struggles on offense. Tennessee's defense isn't too bad. They've been playing decent this year. It's definitely not their defense why they're losing games. They can't put up any fucking points on offense. I don't think they have more than 3 touchdowns this year or something close to that. So Tennessee's got to figure out something new on offense. I believe they try something a little new. And even if they don't, I don't think Arizona has the offensive power to just put up points. Unless Tennessee shoots himself in the foot, has turnovers. I just don't see that happen in this game. I think they're going to be more focused, just try to be more competitive this game and prove to themselves that they can compete. Because right now I don't think they believe that, but they want to. And besides all that, Disney fantasy stuff, I'm not convinced in Cardinals offense. I'm not convinced in Kyler Murray. He doesn't have good chemistry with his top target. I don't think that fixes in 1 week. Maybe they look a little better this week and connect, but they didn't really connect till the end of the game. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. when it was pretty much already over. So I feel good with Tennessee covering this. They haven't covered in 3 weeks. Almost haven't covered at all this whole year. Almost. And I think Arizona, we're going to start to see them plummet. And that division, they're going to probably be the bottom team in that division. Even though the Niners are as hurt as they are, I still don't see the Cardinals having a better record than the Niners at the end of the year. And I believe this is, I'm just not too convinced on the Cardinals. I think Murray will be put under pressure a lot this game. I think Tennessee will be kicking a lot of field goals. I think they'll move the ball, look better on offense. Not necessarily find the end zone more than once, but I believe this could be like a 23-16, 20-16 game, Cardinals. And this is the only game I feel confident about a correct score. So if you want to put your money on a correct score, place 2 bets. I see the Titans scoring 16 here. I don't know why. I see them getting a touchdown and 3 field goals. That's very specific, but yeah, I see them putting up a fight with field goals. I don't know why that's playing in my head right now, but I feel good about this pick. I'm rambling too long. This video is going on long enough for a 14 game week. Next game. This is another game I might swap. The last game I might swap, besides Monday night, of course. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are -3.5. I'm back and forth, and this is one I might truly pick. Right now, I'm leaning Tampa Bay. But that's just because of my bias in Baker Mayfield. I really like Baker Mayfield. But I don't think it's a bad bias. He really can throw the ball to no matter who he has, no matter how injured the Bucs offense is. He can make something happen. They might be going without Bucky Irvin, so that's something else I got to pay attention to. If he's not playing, I like White, but this Seattle defense is nasty. Like I said, I think they're top 3 in the league. Even with Baker Mayfield gunslinging, making plays, and figuring out ways to stay in games, this could be a game they win by or lose by 6 or more, and Seattle covers. And I really feel good about Seattle covering this. But this is probably the best team I would say Seattle's played all year. This is definitely going to be their toughest competition, even though they're injured. In my opinion, definitely going to be their hardest matchup. But their defense is so good, and Darnold's playing fantastic, 70% completion, but he's only thrown 100 passes. He hasn't had to throw the ball a lot, and the one game where they couldn't get a run game going, they lost. So Bucs are good at stopping the run, and I'm curious to see if Darnold could be the top quarterback without a run game. And I do think Tampa Bay could stop their run game here. And Darnold, I do think he's definitely improved. He's not the Darnold from the Jets anymore, but I do think we're going to see him come back to earth a little bit. But is this going to be the game? Buccaneers keeping all their games close, 3.5. It's a toss-up for me. This one is honestly probably all year the first one I'm truly stuck on, and I don't know who to pick. So I could keep talking and talking since I don't know to try to convince myself one way or another, but this video is going on long enough, so I'm not going to do that. For the video's sake, I'm leaning Tampa Bay to cover, Seattle to win. I think Seattle's going to win no matter what. Do I think Tampa Bay is going to keep it within a field goal? Yeah, I don't know. That defense of Seattle is pretty fucking good. Alright, no money picks yet, but now we're going to start rolling into the money picks. Next game, Detroit Lions at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are plus 10.5. This is another spread I think looks extremely fishy. The Detroit Lions only losing 10.5 against the Bengals. They got no offense. They got no defense. The Lions have scored 30 plus points in their last 3 weeks on their 3-game win streak, and this spread is telling me the Bengals are going to slow them down. The Bengals are going to be the team to make it close. Is this that trap game? Do Lions have trap games? I feel like they're going to be competitive and go hard and try to put up as many points as they can no matter what team they're playing. And I've never seen them take their foot off the pedal. That's not the type of coach Campbell is. He's going to keep trying to score, keep putting up points. And that's the only thing that concerns me about this game. The only way the Bengals cover this. Oh, did I say this is a money pick? And this is why I'm putting my money on the Lions to cover the 10.5. The only way I see them not covering is if they completely shoot themselves in the foot multiple times. I don't think, no matter how hard Cincinnati's defense plays, they're not going to slow down. They're not going to put up a fight. And I don't think no matter how hard Cincinnati offense plays, I think Detroit's defense looks pretty good this year. They're not going to keep up with Detroit's offense. The only thing that's going to stop Detroit from covering the spread is if they go for it on 4th down twice when they're inside the 20-yard line, well, in the red zone, and they don't convert. You know? So that's it. Maybe an injury, a big time injury, or this is one of the games where the Lions lose 5 of their top players and they're an injured team again like last year. Other than that, and teams have covered because of those reasons in the past. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm scared an injury might happen, so I won't put my money on this game. Oh, I'm scared. My biggest worry is just the Giants not converting on 4th down, going for it on 4th down when they don't need to, but them just trying to put the game away early against a team that can't score. I could see them trying to do that. Hopefully they kick field goals if they get put in those situations. Against the Bengals defense, though, will they ever get put in that situation? Maybe. The Bengals stop them. It's like a 3rd and 5. They get it down to 4th and 1, and they go for it. And yeah, it has to be real fluky for them not to cover this spread. I'm extremely, I feel fishy, like that's suspect, that spread to me. But I'm gonna take the bait and put my money on the Lions to cover the spread, 10.5. Next game, we got the Washington Commanders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are minus 2.5. I got my money on this game as well. I'm going with the Chargers to win and to cover. I know Jaden Daniels is coming back. I doubt McLaurin's coming back. Even if he was, I'm not sold on this Commanders offense. They're not a surprise to anybody anymore. It looks like teams have found a way to slow them down this year. And going against the Chargers defense, probably top 5, top 8 in the league. I'd say top 5. You can make an argument, yeah. I don't think they're going to struggle against this Washington offense. Yeah, I think Daniels might make a play here or there. That's what he does. He's going to make some plays, scramble for a first down on 3rd and 8, But I don't see them staying in this game. Chargers just got upset big time by the Giants last week. They need a bounce back. Herbert's slinging it this year. He's looking good. But I would like to see them throw it a little bit more. He hasn't had that connection with McConkey yet this year, and that's like their top guy. So at some point, he's got to break out. I think this might be McConkey's breakout game. So I'm also gonna probably bet a McConkey anytime touchdown. Honestly, against this Washington pass defense, they've let a lot of teams, even subpar teams, they made Penix look like a god last week. So I don't know if I should take Penix for real or not, but he looked good last week against Washington, and Herbert's a different animal. He doesn't scramble, he doesn't rush, but he's a good pocket passer. I think he does scramble a little bit. Yeah, I feel a lot better about the Chargers in this one. They need to bounce back. They're going to take this week seriously. They're back home after all that traveling. They finally get to be back home. And Washington, yeah, they need Daniels is back. Maybe he's a little rusty. I don't know. But, yeah, I just feel good about this one. The Chargers should be able to win this one. This should be an easy pick. I don't even think it's going to be a sweat, to be honest with you guys. I'm pretty sure the Chargers have, on paper, the best pass defense right now. So that's going to be a challenge for Daniel's first game back. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I got to shorten this up. Next game. I never do this. There's 2 things I never do. Well, I did it earlier this year, but it's rare that I do it. I never bet on the Patriots for or against them. And I never bet really Saturday night primetime, any primetime game, but I'm doing it here. We got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are -7.5. This line moved to -8. I'm taking the Patriots to cover. Fuck it, just for fun, I'm gonna take the Patriots to win too. That's not really important. What's important is the cover. I feel confident about this cover. The Bills have been putting up points. They've been scoring points. They look great offensively. They look like one of the top teams in the league. 4-0 convincingly. They even came back against the Ravens. But let's really look at the big picture here. The Ravens are 1-3. Besides that first game, they really haven't looked like a top-tier team to me. Their defense can't stop nobody. The Bills exploited that in the second half of the game. Really all game. And that's week 1. The Bills also have wins against 2 0-4 teams in the Jets and the Saints. Both those teams, Jets didn't really give them a run for the money. Saints kind of gave them a run for the money. And their other win is against the Dolphins. So the Bills are legit this year. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I am gonna say they're not gonna just roll over every team. They have to have had. I didn't look at every schedule, but the easiest schedule so far this year, and they're one of the top teams. So of course they're gonna look dominant, right? And the Patriots looks like they finally got an identity on offense. They're not putting up a bunch of points this year, and that's due to horrendous turnovers. If it wasn't for those turnovers in the Steeler game, they get at least 2 more touchdowns, So they know how to score now. They know how to move the ball now. They're not just getting touchdowns here and there. They convinced me on offense that they can move the ball. They got somewhat of an identity. This is a Stephon Diggs revenge game. I think we're going to see a lot out of Stephon Diggs. I'm probably even going to put money on a Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown. I love anytime touchdowns on revenge games. They work out a lot. Bills defense, they let, they're pretty good, but they letting teams score on them. They let the Ravens put up 40. They let it's easy. You can run on this Bills defense, and I think the Patriots have a good rush and attack. I think they have their offense is almost balanced. You know what I mean? But I do think the Bills will win this game. I'm picking the Patriots to win for fun, but Bills should win this game. But I do think I said in the beginning of this year, and I got to stick with it, I think the Patriots are going to be the team in the division to give the Bills a run for their money. They're going to be the team that kind of hangs around 2 games back, 1 game back, and the Patriots are in a perfect position to be a half game back if they win this game. So I believe that'll be their motivation. They're going to play hard. They're aware of that. And then like week 5 into the season, they're a half game behind the Bills. I don't think anybody saw that. Yeah, I think it should be a hard-fought game. I don't think the Patriots are going to turn the ball over 3 times, 5 times. Hopefully not even once. But they got a solid defense. And I do think they can slow down the Bills' offense. I'm not convinced in the Bills' passing game. Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks that can throw the ball to anybody. But right now I don't really think their receivers are top tier. Patriots should be able to defend that. What I'm worried about, and I would put money on a Kincaid prop, but I think Patriots defense is going to have to worry about the Bills tight ends. That's been their one weakness this year, is that tight ends. So we'll see how they do. My money's on the Patriots. This is my first time in like 3 years I'm putting money on a Patriots game. Here we go. This is going to be our week though, guys. This video's long, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. This is going to be our week. 3 money picks. 3 picks that I might switch. The rest are locks. Let's get down to the last game Monday night. I'm not going to have too much to say about this because Monday is a long ways away. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are plus 3.5 at home. Right now I'm leaning Jacksonville Jaguars to cover. I can't really say a win against Patrick Mahomes. He's like a Tom Brady. They can win any given week no matter how shitty their team is. But yeah, I like Jacksonville. I'm not convinced about Kansas City beating the Ravens. We had Lamar pull the Paul crew, and they just look like they gave up. But also, I wanted to pick the Ravens last week. I don't know why I didn't. I wasn't made aware that Worthy was coming back. I knew that's a big boost to the offense. I like Worthy, but I think Jacksonville's going to put up a fight. They got a much better defense than the Ravens right now. And yeah, I'm going to just end this video. I'm not going to give any more analysis on this game. I got more I could say, but like I said, Monday's a long way away. Jacksonville Jaguars to cover, Kansas City to win. Those are my picks. 14 games this week, 3 money picks, 3 I might switch. I'm feeling pretty confident this week though, guys. So don't forget to click like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you agree, disagree with me. Sorry these videos are taking so long. I'm going to find a way to stop talking so much. If you stuck around this long, you are a true Schmidt head. Good luck this week, guys. If you bet any money on these games, please bet responsibly. Make sure you have money that you can afford to lose. Otherwise, don't bet. Go get a job. Go sell something. Good luck this week, guys. Peace.